The only reason why you're still stuck is because you won't tell the truth about the place where you're fucking stuck. So, I mean, it's only going to be, like I said, it's either the dude is stuck, so everybody's stuck with him because he won't move forward. So everybody, and because he won't get help and he won't tell anybody that he needs help, everybody's fucking suffering. So even if he could have the life that he wanted for them, he won't. And then the other side to it too is what I said before. You got the two types of guys. Am I a champion? Like, well, you have to ask that. You're not. So because that means that you won't run into the fight, you won't run into the fire, you won't take a stand for the shit that you believe in, so you're probably not. And because of it, you can't fight for anything worthy. You won't fight for your wife or kids or stand up for some shit you don't believe in. And champion is all about getting guys to stand up for those things, to fight for those things, to fight for the fucking yes and no in your life, or to fight for your wife and kids in the area that somebody else told you that it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense to you, but you still hold on to it, and then you wonder why damn kids don't want to be around you. So, and we talk about that all the time.
Yeah. Said over dominant team.
Yeah. No one wants to be around an evil dictator, even if your dictation is right. You know? You have everybody's best interest, but you're forcing them into that. No one wants to do that. But you'll jump in the fire first. People follow you into the fire, but they won't get pushed into one. That was my lesson. You know, I mean, even for business for me, and when, not even this relationship, every relationship I've ever had with every other woman, like, it's all been hinged off of the fact that I've either came in hard guns and charging. They were attracted to me because I was confident in myself, but truth be told, that confidence was a fake confidence because I put all of my personal power into the thing that defined me outside. And then when I really was able to take off whatever I was doing, it was just a big lie. I was just kind of forcing and pulling myself into something that truly didn't exist, and hoping that having this person around me would make me feel better. But in the end, I was propping myself up on them too, you know, which is why most of my relationships would fail. First marriage failed. As a matter of fact, knowing what I know now about relationships and marriages and stuff like that, my first marriage probably could have worked because I was an overbearing asshole because I didn't know how to be anything else. And then I went into the military. And then before that, like, I was alone. I left home young. So all I knew how to do was hustle, and make my way. And I needed that. So then what I didn't know anything about relationships and being in a marriage for the first time, what I did was do the same thing at home. You know, I remember specifically one time I was in the military, it was infantry, we went to the field and stuff like that, and we were doing all these train ups, and I just went through one of like this school. That was pretty good, and I graduated at the top of that class or whatever for what it was. And I got home, and there was like a bunch of laundry it was like laundry and shit that she had cooked, cleaned, took care of the house, did a bunch of stuff, and there was just clothes in the dryer. And she was like, there's clothes in the dryer. And my mind automatically spirals like, I'm not folding no damn clothes. Like, I work, I bust ass, I provide a roof over your head, I do all that. I was just a total asshole.
You're not folding these fucking socks.
Yeah. And I'm like, hindsight 2020 though, I should have welcomed that. Because what I should have saw was somebody who was working just as hard as me, keeping a roof over my head. Because I never came home and our house was dirty. I never came home and had to starve and for food. I never came home and they really needed for anything. And I had somebody at the time who cared about me, and I was providing for them and they were providing for me, but I saw their provision as less than mine. Because I thought being a man was really about the money. And even though I was providing the money, what I wasn't providing was the attention and connection that I was really seeking. And there was no way for me to ever get that back. So like, all I came across was a dominating dickhead. And then when we split up, I turned into the other guy that comes in champion, because like I said, I know that guy well too. Was I'm super powerful. I know how to hustle, grind, make money, create a business, and create something out of nothing because I know how to survive. And I can hunt the buffalo and I can slay the dragon. But then I'm a pussy at home because I had failed in my past marriage and I didn't know what I did to fail. So I just like, hey, look, if I was dominating and I was an asshole in this new relationship, all of them, after my failed marriage, I just gave every little ounce of power that I had away. So any money that I had, I wanted to spend it on them. Any time that I had, I wanted to spend it on them. So I became like a fucking clingy girlfriend in a relationship who just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Can we hold hands? Can we hug? And I look for powerful women like all powerful men, a woman that can hold the fort down in my absence. And a woman who can hold the fort down in your absence that's looking for a strong man in her life is not looking for some weak dude who just wants to hold hands, kiss, and burst into tears because I can't have sex. Like, that was me. Wonder whether my dick's too small, wonder whether like you like him more than your last boyfriend more than me. How can I compete? You know, tell me about him, and then after they tell me about the ex-boyfriend, I feel all inadequate. I'm like, fuck, man, it's got me coming and going. And then what did I do? Like, well, I make more money than him. I'm gonna run out and fucking buy more property, make more money, raise more money. I will be more star-studded than this guy, and it was still never enough because the challenge was never anything outside of me. It was always fucking me. My feeling of unworthiness and unappreciated, just wanting to be loved. And as men, what do we want? And I just want to be clear, like, it was sex. I work out all the time. I'm a fighter. I'm an athlete. I was a soldier and an entrepreneur. I am the equivalent of the top man's man. And how do you pay the top man's man typically with a woman? It's usually physical connection. It's sex. That's how we interact. And you got your woman who's like, I don't feel like having sex today. I feel like scum of the earth, like the dude that's like, oh man, is my dick too small? Do you not like me? Does my breast stink? Do I need a haircut? Yeah, what happened to me? Like, and the only way I can get that back if it's not from her is to run out and either go get more women who are just enthralled by what I built, or go make more money. And I get high fives from all the dudes out there that like me, but those dudes are kind of looking up to me. They're not my peers. I can beast mode them into like saying, yo, I have this, let's go ride. So, just a sheer conversation, I find that's where I'm in. That's where I was, you know. So, building this whole organization, which I didn't want it to be an organization, was really just try to figure my own shit out. Going to all these different classes, talking to all these different men, asking all these freaking really personal ass questions to get to the root of it. Like, dude, like, I don't want to have a surface conversation anymore, man. How do I not feel like less than a man? Do you feel like that too? And dude's like, no, not me. And I'm like, okay. So you have a Lamborghini plane, you're revving the engine, talking about how much you fucking hate it. And in the backdrop, when we really have a conversation, you and your wife are getting divorced, you guys aren't having sex, you guys haven't had sex in months. That doesn't fucking bother you? Bothers me listening to it. Like, yeah. And when I started talking to guys, I'm like, dude, like, your true power comes in your element. Your true power comes in you being the man that you have to be, and that doesn't mean running from who you are. That means totally, fully embracing and owning that shit. And then and only then can you make different decisions about what it takes and talk to your wife and like, babe, look, I want to have knockdown, drag out sex like at least 4 or 5 times a night, 3-4 times a day. I don't always want to be a dad. I don't always want to be a husband either. What if we just went someplace else and had sex and we got in the car and drove home like we used to? That's what attracted me to you. And then when I go do that, I'm feeling more like a man. So I can go out of my business and be like, shit, I fucking did it. And then when I go work out and train and get on the mat and wrestle or fight or whatever it is that you do as a man, that makes you feel more manly you as a man. That attracted your wife to you in the first place. And then you look at it and you go, look, this is what I'm fucking built for. So when everybody talks about spirituality, my purpose, contribution to the world, like, think about that. What are you built for? What do you think God was like, dude, I created you to do this shit right here because you're mine. When you have all that shit firing, that's fucking winning. When you don't have that shit firing, you are holding everybody around you fucking hostage because you won't step into that power. You give your power away even in the slightest, man. Somebody else controls you, owns you. There's no way you can win and there's no way you can lead. And if you aren't leading, everybody's going to be fucking failing. That's been my truth. And when the guys come here and I share that with them and they're like, holy shit, I didn't get that. There is no more truth to that. There isn't any less truth than that. That's my beliefs.